The Electoral College. The Electoral College is the process through which the United States picks its president. Each state has a certain amount of Electoral College votes, and the candidate that wins a majority of the total amount of votes is elected president. That's a short explanation, though, and there's a bit more to it than that. Looking at this map here, you'll see how many votes each state gets, and you might notice that some states that have more Electoral College votes also have a higher population. You might also notice that no state gets below 3 Electoral College votes. This is because every state gets 2 votes guaranteed, and any additional votes are proportional to their state population. Because of math reasons, this means that the vote of a person living in a sparsely populated state like Vermont or Wyoming, their vote is worth significantly more than the vote of someone living in a highly populated state like California or Texas. Whether you think that's fair or unfair, this was actually intentional. Those that designed this system wanted rural votes to be worth more so that they were not overridden by urban votes. So, how do you win a state? Well, for 48 states and Washington, D.C., whoever wins the most votes within the states wins all their electoral votes. Whether you win by 99% or whether you just barely skirt by. In either scenario, all of these electoral college votes goes to whoever won the popular vote of that state. In the states of Maine and Nebraska, they have split votes. 2 votes go to whoever wins the state overall in terms of the popular vote. Then the remaining votes are by who wins the most votes in each of the congressional districts. For example, Maine has District 1 and District 2. Candidate 1 can win the overall vote in Maine and win District 1, giving them 3 electoral votes, including these 2 from the state overall. At the same time, Candidate 2 can win the 2nd congressional district and get that 1 electoral vote. So even though they lost Maine overall, they still win 1 vote, and the same can happen for something like Nebraska. There are 538 electoral votes in total. How do you get to that number? Well, there are 435 members in the House of Representatives, plus 100 senators in the Senate, plus 3 votes for Washington, D.C. To get a majority of these votes, the candidate needs to get at least 270, a majority of 538. However, 538 is an even number, so it is possible for there to be a 269 to 269 tie in the Electoral College. In such a scenario, the House of Representatives picks the president. You might think that each member of the House gets a vote, but actually each state gets a vote. California has more than 50 representatives, so they have to decide amongst themselves how California will vote. Meanwhile, Vermont only has 1 representative, so he himself decides how the state will vote. In this scenario, the Senate votes on the vice president. Because there are 50 states and 100 senators, ties are also possible here, but so unlikely that it is not worth covering in this video, though rest assured there is a procedure for it. So, how do you know what to look for on election night? Well, there are a few terms you might need to know to keep up with the news. A blue state is a state that tends to vote with the Democratic Party, and a red state is a state that tends to go with the Republican Party. A purple or a swing state is a state that could go either way. Some states, such as New Hampshire or Iowa, tend to lean to one party but could also go for the other party. Because of the Electoral College and how some states are worth more than others, there are times in history where a person who got less votes in the popular vote still won because they had enough votes in the Electoral College. In fact, this has happened 4 times in 1876, 1888, 2000, and 2016. Those who favor the Electoral College say this is how it's supposed to work, while those who oppose it are angered by this fact. Whether you like or dislike the system is up to you, the viewer. Every 10 years, when we do what's called a census and count how many Americans there are in each state, oftentimes the amount of electoral college votes that a state gets will change. What you're looking at now is what the 2024 map will look like. You might notice some differences, how in 2024 Texas will have 41 votes, while in the 2020 vote it had 38. Some states lost votes, such as Pennsylvania, which will have 19 electoral college votes in 4 years, while in 2020 it has only, or it has 20 votes. When a state has counted all the votes and has decided how many electoral college votes each candidate will get, what happens next? Well, the state picks certain people called electors who go to their respective state capitals and cast their vote. Well, they are supposed to vote for who the state tells them to. In some states, there is nothing legally stopping them from voting for whoever they want. This has never changed the outcome of an election, however. These people are called faithless electors.